Welcome to the Bourbon Retriever. My name is Chris. Today we're doing a review of the Evan Williams 23 year. We're just gonna go ahead and jump into this because I cannot wait to try it. So this Evan Williams 23 year is nothing like its baby brother, the Evan Williams single barrel. They're very similar bottle shapes, but they taste almost nothing alike. Are similar to its other cousin, the more well-known, the Evan Williams Bottle Bond. That is a staple favorite among the bourbon community, but that compared to this is like absolutely night and day. So I normally don't put too much weight in packaging of the bottle, but I actually really enjoy how this is almost what it feels like a throwback to older days. Like the label on it feels like it's from like the 90s. It's a much more old-fashioned label, and I'm glad they kept it that way because it almost feels to me almost more valuable. It feels like what could be almost a dusty type version, having that older label on it. The Evan Williams 23 is a Kentucky exclusive bottle. Specifically, you can only get it at the Evan Williams Experience. They have been dropping these daily at the Evan Williams Experience lately. Traditionally, they weren't there, but for some reason, I think it's all around the Kentucky Derby. They're dropping these like a couple weeks up leading to it. They're dropping them, and I've heard that they've been releasing some since then. Who knows how much longer it's gonna last? My fingers crossed. They keep lasting because I will be in Kentucky in a month or so. So I'm hoping these are still there when I get there. But who knows how much longer they're gonna be at the gift shop? These are rather expensive bottles. They come in at a 400 MSRP price. That is steep, no matter which way you cut it. It is a 23-year-old product. When you compare it to other 23-year-olds like the Pappy 23, the secondary of that is sky enormous on it, mostly just because of the label, not necessarily the age. The age is a part of it. But then when you think about the others out there, like you have the Elijah Craig 23, the MSRP of that is much lower than this. And to be honest, these are the same mash bills. Evan Williams 23 and the Elijah Craig 23. They're both, I wrote it down to make sure I didn't say it wrong, but it's 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. So I don't know necessarily what the difference between the Elijah Craig 23 and the Evan Williams 23. I don't know if it's different parts of the warehouse or if maybe they're just not doing the Elijah Craig 23 anymore. Like I haven't seen that been released in a long time, so maybe it's just something been discontinued and they're going in this going forward. So the intro there, I might have given away a little bit already, but I am a big fan of this bottle. My friend Jose, when he first got this, he let me try it with him, and it was fantastic on initial crack. So I'm excited to see how this tastes now with a little more air in it. Has it evolved any? And does it live up to my memory of the pour? Cheers. And that is exactly what I want in older pours. There's this rich oakness to it, but it balances out with some sweetness. This is not tannic oak, and that is the biggest worry with these ultra aged products. It is very, very hard to have old whiskey that doesn't just smell like dark, dense, bitter wood. For example, this is I had a Willet 27 year, which specs on it sound amazing. Trying a Willet that's 27 years old, in which probably more often than not was from Heaven Hill. I was super stoked to try it. The thing was basically motor oil, the color of it. But I'm telling you, that thing was almost undrinkable. It was so bitter and so oaky that it just was not pleasant to drink. So when you get these bourbons up in this age, it really is in the blending process and how these were aging in the rick house to be able to get that kind of pour. And I am wildly impressed that they're able to get that on this bottle. Yeah, man, that is really good. As this thing has opened up, the sweetness is almost surprisingly overtaken the oak. That sweetness is really coming forward. This isn't a light sweetness. Like, don't think green apple, fresh fruit. This is a much more denser fruit, darker fruit that's been not molded, like a jam, preserved fruit, something that's much richer and thicker in that aspect. Yeah, that is really good. Wow. Okay. Oh my. Oh man. I'm gonna have to take a second there and recruit my thoughts a little bit. Yeah, that is really good. The people who will like this, or people who like, trying to think, like Michter's 10. If you are a big Michter's 10 bourbon fan, this is going to be right up your alley. I'm getting a lot of the similar notes that I get on that with this, even though this is twice the age on it. Okay. I could keep smelling this for days, but for the review to keep this thing moving, we're going to go ahead and jump into the palate. So the first thing that jumps out on the palate there is the proof on this. This has a really high proof for its age. It's coming in at 107 proof. If my memory is correct, yeah, 107 proof. If you think about the other 23s, the Pappy one, that is, I think it's under 100. I can't remember the exact, but it's nowhere near 107. Traditionally, when you get older age whiskey, like the Elijah Craig 18, that is 90, low 90s. When you get these high age-stated products, they often proof them down to help mellow out that wood note. It helps create a much more pleasurable drinking experience. Also, they normally do lower down to help get a higher yield, make a little more money on that barrel there. So to find something with this proof at this age, I can't think of another one that you could even compare it to. So the front of the palate is very silky. That is like the first thing I'm picking up there is just like kind of the texture of it. And then as it gets into the mid palate, that's where it kind of balloons up. The flavors come out much more, and that deep, rich fruit jam notes I was talking about earlier, they just really pop right there in the middle of the palate. Very similar to the Michter's 10. And then as this tails off in on the back end of the palate, you get a little bit of black pepper spice there. But yeah, going back to the aroma, this is one of at least top 10 pours on the aroma that I have had. This is a really good aroma. Yeah, it is so rich, that mid palate. And what I love about it is it does act like a roller coaster. The flavors do come and go in your palate there as they kind of transition between the different stages of the drinking experience. And that is what I look for in premium whiskey. I don't want just a very flat ride, one note that just kind of hits there, stays flat, and kind of dies off. I want this more of a roller coaster where it kind of starts kind of like a taste. It really ramps up and just builds up and kind of almost like pops like a balloon and then kind of like slowly crescendos out on the finish there. So I know I've been saying jam a ton. I think if I had to pick a fruit though, it's going to be grape. I'm getting what feels like a lot of grape on this. So when distillers give tasting notes on these bottles, sometimes they can be pretty spot on. It's a short list of more of the prominent notes you get. Other times it can be just a garbage pile of words that they're hoping at least one of them sticks with you as you're drinking it, where others tell a more kind of memory image of what you should be drinking. But I'm going to read you guys the notes for the Evan Williams 23 year that Heaven Hill puts out because there are some maybe interesting or noteworthy notes that they are putting out. So if you go ahead and look at this, if you look at the nose, big spice, honey, very typical. And then it says deep and mysterious. I don't know what mysterious means here. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a Halloween release. There's ghost stories coming out of this or whatnot, the age-old distillers. But I'm not sure exactly what is mysterious on the nose there. Then if you go up to the taste, it says amazing sweet and rich for its age. Notes of fine corn and liquid honey. I don't know what other form of honey there is besides liquid honey. Maybe there are other ones out there. I've never had anything besides liquid honey, but they add that in there. Maybe they're just trying to hit their word count here for the notes. I sometimes feel pressured to give great tasting notes when I'm doing these reviews, but after seeing the notes that Heaven Hill put out there, I feel a little bit better about myself. Before I jump into my final thoughts on the Evan Williams 23 year, if you're enjoying this content, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any future reviews that I post. So Evan Williams 23. Is it a buy, pass, bar pour? This is a very expensive bottle. $400 is an absolute, just astronomical amount of money to be paying for whiskey. It is a 23 year. There aren't many 23 years out there that you can just accessibly get. I don't think there really are any. But as odd as it is to say, this one does live up to the price tag. Like if I have the opportunity to get this bottle, I will be paying $400 to get it, which if I do get it, I think it'll be the most expensive or one of the top 3 most expensive bottles that I have ever personally purchased. This is an absolute fantastic pour. However, I want to caveat this. If you do not buy bottles that are $200 or plus, do not go out and buy this. This is not life-changing whiskey. It's not going to all of a sudden make you a whiskey savant. There are significant diminishing returns when it comes to whiskey. I talked about this in my last video. I'll put it up here, link to it if you want to check it out. But if you're looking for a cheaper version that gets you close to the way there, but not all the way, is the Edwin Williams 12 year. Those I want to say are maybe 150 or 125, something like that, at the gift shop. They are just gift shop only, very similar to this at the Edwin Williams Experience. Otherwise, you can get them in Japan, I think, are some other international markets. They are cheaper in international markets, but you have to go there to get them. And for those of you who can't buy a whole bottle, because that is a lot of money to put up to buy one single bottle in your collection, I definitely recommend you to try and get a bar pour. If you see this at your bar for anything, anything under like maybe $45, it's hard for me to pay other $50 for a pour. Like, it's a one pour, it's gone. But if you see this for 45 bucks or less, I definitely think this is a bar pour that you should try and get, because it is a really good pour and a good expression of what a 23-year-old bourbon can be. So that's my review of the Edwin Williams 23 year. If you're enjoying this content, hit the subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of my future videos. And check out this video before you head out, where I talk about the top value bottles from each of the major distilleries. Until next time, cheers.